Let's talk about photo radar, the world's dumbest cash grab dressed up as public safety. You ever notice how the believers always parrot the same line? It reduces fatalities by 70%. 70. Not 10, not 20, not 30, 70. Like it's a miracle cure. And then, when pressed, they sheepishly admit, well, it was also in conjunction with other measures. Oh, you don't say? You mean the cameras weren't the magic bullet? They weren't the lone savior of humanity? They were just sitting there like a decorative mailbox while real interventions did the heavy lifting. Exactly. That's the scam in a nutshell. Take every road improvement, every police blitz, every engineering upgrade, and slap the cameras on top like a cherry, then give the cherry 100% of the credit. It's statistical fraud for dummies. And then there's the liar class, like Counselor Tim Tierney, who goes on radio and insists with a straight face, we don't fine people for going just a few kilometers over. It has to be 11 kilometers per hour or more. Bull, absolute bull. Ontario law is crystal clear. Fines start at 1 kilometer per hour over. The scale is $5 per kilometer over the limit. So if you're doing 61 and a 60, the law allows the machine to hit you. This 11 kilometers per hour grace zone is not law. It's not policy. It's a sales pitch. It's the cop saying, don't worry, we don't really enforce the rules, we just like to pretend. And the suckers eat it up. And let's dismantle the it's about safety, not revenue fairy tale while we're at it. If this was about safety, then every dime would be ring-fenced for road redesigns, crosswalk upgrades, traffic calming, or transit funding, but it's not. The money goes into general revenue where politicians can spend it on whatever pork project they like. These cameras are municipal slot machines, except instead of nickels and quarters, they're eating your commute. The placement of cameras gives the game away. They're never installed at the deadliest intersections. They're not where drunk drivers cause carnage. They're not where distracted drivers blow through stop signs. They're placed where the traffic is heavy and steady, so the tickets flow like water. It's not about saving lives, it's about maximizing revenue. And here's the dirty secret the believers can't handle. The safety effect is tiny and temporary. The actual consensus numbers from well-designed studies are a 10 to 20% reduction in crashes or injuries, tops. That's it. Not 70%. Not roads transformed, 10 to 20. And even that is contaminated by regression to the mean, the natural tendency of high crash sites to cool down after a spike. And what about long-term impact? It fades. Drivers learn where the cameras are. They slam the brakes before the box, crawl past like choir boys, and then punch the gas right after. That's not safer driving. That's panic braking, tailgating, and rear-end collisions. Crashes don't disappear. They migrate. Believing in photo radar is like believing in Santa Claus with a radar gun. It's childish, it's gullible, and it's pathetic. These machines don't teach people not to drive drunk. They don't stop texting behind the wheel. They don't catch reckless weaving or road rage. They don't redesign the highways that are engineered like racetracks. They just sit there, silently punishing after the fact and sending you a bill in the mail weeks later. And the believers, the idiots who clap for this nonsense, are the worst part. They convince themselves they're morally superior because they support safety measures, when really they're just useful idiots for municipal tax farming. They're the kind of people who'd buy snake oil twice just to feel virtuous. Let me spell it out. Photo radar is security theater. It's a hollow performance designed to trick rubes into thinking the city cares about safety, when what it really cares about is balance sheets. You don't get safer roads out of it. You get fat revenue streams and lazy politicians patting themselves on the back. If you actually cared about safety, you'd demand redesigned roads that naturally slow traffic. You'd demand police target reckless and distracted driving in real time. You'd demand investment in transit so fewer cars choke the streets. But no, the believers would rather worship a steel box that spits out tickets and call it progress. Photo radar doesn't save lives. It saves politicians the trouble of doing their jobs. And if you think otherwise, congratulations. You're not safety-minded, you're just a sucker with a speeding fine.